Hey, everybody, welcome to the Candid Thoughts Podcast. This is your host, Isabelo Pascual, and I'm joined by the premier tailor of Los Angeles, who's had such celebrity clientele as Frank Stallone, Sylvester Stallone, Hugh Hefner, Oscar de la Hoya, Ed McMahon, as well as a bunch of other people. Yep. He's also the author of Tailor-Made Success and The Hustle Code. This is Art Lewin right here. And thanks for joining us, Art.
Isabella, thank you. I appreciate you having me on the show. Thank you.
Well, it's a pleasure to learn from an esteemed entrepreneur as yourself. With myself, I own a production company and I do consultations in the real estate industry and other ancillary industries as well.
Sure.
But it's always good to learn from those who came before us, who've gone through the success story, who've had the obstacles and overcame it. So first up, who is Art Lewin? And tell us some details on how you became LA's premier bespoke tailor.
All right, let me tell you a little bit about me. I'm originally from Chile, and I'm an immigrant here. I came here illegally. I was about 8 or 9 years old, and 40 something years ago. It's a long time ago. And being an immigrant, I've always wanted more than what we have. We grew up very modest, not much of really anything. And then when I came here, I grew up in the wrong side of the tracks. You know what I mean? So the friends that I was becoming friends with in school, they were growing up in the right side of the tracks with big homes, big cars. And that kind of inspired me. I'm thinking to myself, well, why, if they could do it, why can't we do it? So as I got older I started working about 12 years old. I was sweeping floors at a hair salon. That was my first job. And I had to get to that job by bicycle 10 miles away. So 3 times a week, that was my training. I used to be a semi-pro cyclist back in the day. And so I got a taste at 12 years old. I got a little bit of taste of money and things that it could do for you. And as I started getting older, I had 26 jobs before I got into the custom clothing business. My last job I was a sales rep for a pager company. I'm not sure if you know or if you remember what those are, the alphanumeric and the pagers, right? Back in the day. So I knocked on this custom tailor's door in 1989. He loved my style and recruited me in the business, and the rest is history. If you fast forward to today we're the #1 custom clothing in the country. We have 6 locations throughout Southern California and 1 in Arizona, and we dress who's who. Today, times are different because I've been doing this for 32 years. It's a long time, and since starting in 1989. So my reputation, we have an awesome reputation in this business. Not only that, we keep 94% of our clients. So we have a really high retention rate of our clients, and they keep coming back year after year and year after year. And that's how we've grown so fast. So good question, by the way.
Thank you. And it's quite commendable to be the best tailor in Los Angeles for the celebrities, and also to have such a high clientele retention rate.
Sure.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of, I'm sure you discuss that in your books.
We do.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I do.
It's fantastic. So what sort of bespoke apparel and outfits would you recommend for young entrepreneurs starting out?
When they're first starting out, going bespoke, it's a lot more expensive than your traditional suit. If you go to, let's say, a department store and you're buying a suit for $500, that to me is a starting point. But to some, it's still a lot of money. So I don't know, because I've done custom suits my entire life. I don't know so let's just say a starting suit's $500. Bespoke suits are about 5 times that, right? So they start about 3,000, somewhere in there. But we go after the 1%ers, and those are the clients that we want. Just because that's what I selected to do. There's nothing wrong with $500 suits. Most people have them, but I just decided years ago just to go high end. And I would recommend, if whatever you could afford, just make sure it's tailored right. Okay, don't just buy it off the rack and wear it, because most 99.9% of the time it's not going to fit. Make sure you spend a little bit of money on tailoring. You can make a $500 suit or a $300 suit like a $1,000 suit. Initially, I would say the first 3 suits you should get: 1 navy, 2 gray, and 3 black.
And as the saying goes, you want to dress for success.
Yes.
And I'm sure this there's a direct correlation when you're going to a networking event. When you see somebody who's wearing a $200 suit contrasted to somebody who's wearing a $5,000 bespoke suit.
Right.
Yeah, there's an authority there, and there's a respect given to that person. You can tell who's who.
Yeah. You could definitely tell who's who, and they don't have to say a word. And that's what my suits say when these high profile CEOs, vice president, president of big companies, entertainment, whatever they might be, all they have to do is walk into a room and people go, wow. And you get that wow factor, right? I tell a lot of people that I sell that feel good factor, and clothing happens to be my product, right? So I make everybody, once they leave my showroom, I want them to say, wow, I've never looked this good in my entire life. Thank you so much, Art Lewin. And we hear that daily, and that's our goal now.
And what sort of material does Art Levine Bespoke offer the clientele?
So most of our cloth, it comes from 2 places. There's cloth all over the world, but my preferred mills that I work with are either in Italy or England. There's some other in Scotland that I work with, but my preferred ones that I work with are Italian wool and English wool. The difference is the English wool, it's a little bit thicker, a little bit heavier, and they're from super 120s to super 150s. I like to stay right in that range, because there are some better fabrics, but the higher you go in that number, the less they're going to wear throughout the years. So they're not going to last as long. So I like to stay, because my clients are spending between $3,000 and $5,000 per suit. I want to keep them looking good and make sure that my suits last at least 10 years, get their money's worth.
And there's definitely some value in having a good suit with high quality.
Sure. Yeah.
So what clientele have you worked with, and what offers do you have for new clientele to incentivize them to get a bespoke suit by Art Levine?
So the preferred clients that we like to work with are executives. The reason being, they're the most loyal. Entertainment or athletes, they're not really loyal, because everybody wants to put their suits on them, right? So we prefer working with executives, whether it be a CEO or president or up and coming salesperson in a company. And we like to establish a relationship. And what we like to do as an incentive of people coming and doing business with us, one, we'll give you a little bit of a break on your first suit. Not only that, we'll give you a shirt or 2, custom shirt or 2. It's about a $300 value per shirt to add with the suit, and that's on us. And then a custom made tie and a pocket square. So we give you anywhere between $600 and $800 value per suit from us, comped.
That's an amazing sign-on bonus.
Yes.
I guess.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So as an immigrant, what are your thoughts on the American dream? Is it alive or dead?
Oh, no, for sure it's alive. It's, the American dream is there if you want it. I just posted something on Facebook a couple of days ago, I believe. I disappeared. When I first started in this business, I disappeared for about 8 months, right? I didn't talk to really barely any family. My best friends, I didn't see any of my best friends for about 8 months. I didn't go to fancy dinners. All I did was grind. And those 8 months changed my life. So, but I did what I had to do to make things happen for me. And it's, success, it's reachable. Is it easy? It's not easy. Is there going to be some negatives? Yeah, there is. I've gone through a couple of divorces, right? It's, but because I'm so focused on what I want, I don't let anybody in my way. Nobody gets in my way. So, but there are some sacrifices, and you have to be ready for those sacrifices.
There's a lot of debate with immigrants stealing American jobs.
Right.
Myself, I'm a first-generation American. My parents, my mother was born in Haiti in the Caribbean. My father's from the Philippines.
Okay.
And there's this concept of the American reset button. Well, you had mentioned that with your previous history, your father came to the United States in 1967, correct?
Yes.
And
Yes.
then your family followed a couple of years afterwards.
My mom followed a couple of years after that. One of my brothers followed 2 or 3 years after that, and 2, 3 years later. So it took about 9 years before all of us were together again.
But it's a fact that your parents had the aspiration to bring you to the States for better opportunities.
Yep.
And on the topic of immigration, a lot of people don't understand that it's the immigrants who actually are creating the jobs and who have the motivation to improve America. After World War II, the German soldiers or the German scientists, they were collected by
Sure.
the Americans as a resource.
Sure.
And I've noticed a lot of immigrants that come to this country, and some of them are engineers trained in their countries.
Right.
And they're relegated to being a taxi driver. And that's a shame.
Right.
And so you had the balls to get into sales.
Yeah. That's my whole background, sales and marketing. Yeah, I dropped out of school, so I didn't have plan B. I had to make it happen no matter what. So one of my things in the book that I wrote too, I forced myself to do 150 calls minimum per day, right? That's 36,000 calls a year. Out of 36,000 calls a year, 35,500 people told me no, right? So I had to work with 500 people. So out of 500, 50% of them told me no. But that's how I grew the business. So I knew, okay, if I continue this, I'll pick up 250, 300 clients a year after year, year after year. So here I am 32 years later, we still pick up clients. I don't make those calls anymore. I have some staff making the calls, but we still do those calls. So you have to, every success story has a formula. You have to figure out the formula for you, for whatever field you're in, whether you be in real estate or selling pharmaceutical, I don't know what field you're in, you have to figure out your formula. What does it take to make what you want?
Becoming a successful entrepreneur with over 32 years of expertise and success with your brand, what tips can you provide for up and coming entrepreneurs?
This is one thing I've always been a really good planner. I've been a good saver, right? My mother instilled in me, always save, always save. So since I was 19, and when I got a little bit of taste of money, I started saving, invest in properties, buy a lot of real estate. Not only am I in the clothing, but I'm also a real estate investor, right? So save money, invest in real estate, and have that burning desire, keep that drive going, have purpose.
So speaking of investments, I'm sure you follow Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts on gold and silver? I mean, I've got some bullion myself.
Sure.
That I'm holding on to.
Sure. I will hold on to
it. we need to hold on to it right now. That's God's money.
Yeah. Yes.
That's the only real value. But can you give us some tips on what you foresee in the investment side of things?
In the investments, most of my worth, it's in real estate. So I kind of go towards real estate all the time, because a long time ago when I was a young kid, one of my clients, right, told me, Art, you want to become wealthy, buy real estate. So ever since then, I've been buying a property a year, right, or two. This year, I think I'm going to buy 3, and we're looking at some right now. But every year, I continue buying, and you add to your net worth. And then those properties start paying off themselves, right? So then later on in your later years, or whenever you feel you want to retire, you have properties paying your rent, they give you the money. And that's how I see that. Now, gold and silver, I foresee that also, exploding, and that's coming soon. So that's my feedback for you, for the young guys out there.
Okay. And we appreciate the tips.
Sure.
So how have you overcome emotional and financial burnout and setbacks in your personal and professional lives?
Sure. I've had many financial setbacks, from a divorce, not only one, two. Okay. I've gone through 2 bankruptcies. I've gone through some legal issues. I've gone through some IRS issues, but you have to keep focused and you have to keep going. All that stuff, it's, you handle one issue at a time. Everybody's got issues, but when it comes to financial or issues, you handle one issue at a time. You can't go crazy and say, oh my God, what am I going to do? If you owe $20,000 in credit cards, hopefully it's different credit cards and you pay one at a time and tell the other ones, hold up, I'm going to pay you, but you have to wait your turn, and they'll wait. So there's always going to be issues, no matter what. Is my life perfect? No, but I do the best with what I have, and I'm a very, very positive man. You'll almost never ever see me down, but there are times that I say to my wife, wow, is this really kind of worth it? Do we really want this? And in back of my mind, because I grew up from nothing, I want it, and I'll do whatever it takes to have that and keep that.
That's pretty inspiring. Mindset's a very huge factor in our success.
It's a huge factor. If you don't have that strong mindset, you're going to be in the wrong business. You're going to be sacrificing a lot. It's you have to have a really strong mindset. It's not for everybody. People say, oh my God, Art, I wish I had that. But do you wish you went through all the obstacles and everything I went through to get what I have? No, most people won't do it. So I don't know how many people that I know. I know almost all of my successful clients have gone through at least one divorce and one bankruptcy. Okay, I've gone through two and way other stuff, a lot of other stuff too. So it's for the tough-minded.
Of course. And the tough-minded, they create opportunities for everybody else.
Oh yeah, for
Yes.
sure. That's for sure.
Are there any books or resources that you can recommend to the viewers, including the Hustle Code and Tailor-Made
including
Success?
the Hustle Code and this one here, Tailor-Made Success. So this, I'm gonna talk about this book right now. Sorry, I'm gonna plug my book right now. All right? The reason I came up with this book right here is because over the years, the clients that I work with are the 1%ers, right? So I tell this to everybody every single day, even though I dropped out of school, every single day I see 8 to 12 successful, extremely successful people every day. And every single day I get a little MBA or a little PhD teaching or coaching from my clients. So imagine over 32 years, how many PhDs and how many little MBAs I've acquired in my mind throughout the years. And I put that in my book. So that's why it says lessons learned from very powerful and wealthy entrepreneurs, because I learn from them. I learn from my clients. A lot of my clients are much more successful than I am. So why not listen to them? So that's my book, but it depends on what you're going for. When I first started in sales, I knew that it was about psychology. So back then I started studying psychology about what the mind is and all that stuff. Then I got into reading about sales. Then I got into self-help books. It just depends on what your area of expertise that you want to become good at. Dig deep into that.
Do you have any tips on team building and company culture to maintain a solid team, highly motivated?
Sure. I call my business, everybody that works for me, I treat everybody like family. So they all get to come into my office and say, Art, can I get a minute? I treat everybody the same, right? And the team building, the positive that goes in my office all starts with me, right? And sometimes I'll hear them over there, how could Art be so positive, so enthusiastic all the time? But you know what? Enthusiasm is contagious. So why not, give the vibes of positive in this world? Give out that positive mindset, because I want everybody to know that they're not alone. All my employees, they all have me, and they're one door away from me. They're one phone call, or if they want to come into my office and pick my brain a little bit, sure, come on. So I have that open door policy, and anytime they want, they could come and talk to me. So they're lucky ones, because I didn't have someone like me when I was growing up.
You had to seek the resources, and you asserted yourself into a position, provided value to your mentors, and they gave you the information. through experience.
Yes.
Do you have any other tips or anything else you'd like to discuss? You can shout out anything you want, maybe another product of yours or something.
You know what? I started another company. This one here is called HCL, Healthy Choice Labs, and I'm into I'm into fitness, and this is a supplement company. I don't know if you've heard of Healthy Choice Foods. So last year, when I didn't have anything to do for 6 months, I bought a little piece of Healthy Choice Foods, and their supplement company. So healthychoicelabs.com. That's my other business, and that's into maintaining yourself. You know, it's hard. It's hard to wake up at 5 a.m. sometimes and go to bed at 10. So you need supplements. You need something. You need energy. You need whatever it might be. You have to have an agenda, and that agenda needs to include eating healthy and maintaining your body. You know, healthy mind, healthy body. So go ahead.
Are there any particular supplements that you can recommend, including from your product line, the Healthy Choice?
Yeah, the Healthy Choice Labs. I think there's a really good one in there is to clean out yourself, clean yourself out, get all that junk out of there, all that yucky stuff in your intestines that you've had for years. We have a great colon cleansing product in there. We have fish oil pills. Well, our multivitamins is awesome. It's got a little bit of fat burner, so it speeds you up a little bit. At the same time, it keeps you focused. We have a brain focus pill that keeps you focused, because a lot of people like me, we're all over the place, right? So we need something to keep us focused. There's many times, especially I want to say about 10, 12 years ago, I had a hard time sleeping because my brain was always going. We have a great sleeping pill in there. All natural. Everything that I mentioned to you is all natural, all FDA approved. My factory is FDA approved, all made in the US. So it's all natural stuff.
And again, the website is Healthy Choice Labs, correct?
Healthychoicelabs.com. Yes, sir.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I like your radio voice, by the way.
I've been getting compliments. Even Wayne Brady himself.
Oh, nice.
5 years ago, I was on, or 4 or 5 years ago, I was on Let's Make a Deal. Okay. I was a winning contestant, but he joked around and said, and then I joked around and said, "Will you hire me?" He said, "No." But I recently released an audiobook called Phrase 7, and that's an adaptation of a book, which I'm also adapting into a television series right now.
Okay.
So Phrase 7, it's available on audible.com.
Okay.
And you can enjoy the audiobook experience.
I just made a note of that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, and for the audience as well, you guys can enjoy it. Do check out healthychoicelabs.com and check out Phrase 7 on Audible. We have to plug ourselves, Art.
That's right. And don't forget about artlewinbespoke.com.
That's right. artlewinbespoke.com.
Yep, it's right here.
That's right. And you also have custom ties, shirts.
You know, today I'm wearing a custom casual shirt. So I did this one with double pockets. If you look at the buttonholes, they're a little bit different. I did a short sleeve with a little cuff, my monogram right there. We do custom made mask with your logo on it, not mine, unless you want our logo, but we do it all. You know, everything to do with executive wear, it's what I specialize in. So men or women, suits, shirts, blouses, for women, skirts, we do that. Anything to do with corporate wear. Look us up.
Okay. artlewinbespoke.com.
Yes, sir. And that voice, man, it comes out strong.
Yeah, I get a lot of compliments all over town.
I bet, man. I bet. You got a good pickup voice there for the girls.
I get a lot of comments about that. Oh, Isabelo.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. Yep. So I appreciate you following up with me, and I appreciate being on your show. Anything else that you want to touch base on?
So would you mind saying your locations again?
Sure. I'm based out of Los Angeles. I'm also in Beverly Hills, San Diego, Orange County, Palm Springs, and we have a location in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Now, for the elite, because of COVID, people are very skeptical right now. They don't want to leave. Now,
Sure.
does Art Lewin Bespoke also offer a concierge service?
We do.
Mhm.
Yeah, great question. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of people could appreciate a personal concierge tailor going to their home. So tell us more
Yeah.
about that.
So we do. That's how I started, Isabel. That's how I started. I started going to people's home or offices, and as the years went, I started buying or building my business. I was getting to showrooms, and so now a majority of our business is in our showrooms, but we still offer the "we come to you" concept. Yeah, I've been doing that for my entire career of 32 years. So now, whatever it's needed, if it's just even tailoring, will come out to you. There is a small fee for tailoring, but if you want custom suits or shirts, we'll definitely come out to you.
And the convenience of being at home and then having
Yep,
a
yep,
professional tailor come to you.
yep.
Now, all of you influencers out there, go to artlewinbespoke.com. You don't have to leave your house. You can have one of his tailors come to you.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, and we're all vaccinated, and we obviously wear masks. We bring our own little spray, so everybody's safe around us. And business now is starting to just go full force again. So, which I'm happy about that, because last year we were closed down for about 6 months due to COVID. Yeah.
Well, Art, I appreciate your time, and I'm very inspired by your story. And I hope a lot of our viewers, they reach out to you, they get some custom suits, and they also pick up your books.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Until next time, bud. All right, we'll be in touch.
That's right. Talk soon.
Thank you very much.